Yo, what's up guys, Cozy here. Patch 2.3 is just around the corner and I've got the privilege of giving you an early preview of Firefly. We will delve into her talents, relics, light cones and most importantly her team composition and how to actually use her in combat. Firefly is coming and with her all of your stellar shades are basically gone. Because who wouldn't want to invest into this adorable yet super destructive not so little powerhouse? Thankfully, she's very free-to-play friendly, because one of her best teammates is none other than her best friend, the Trailblazer. Our little love story continues even in the game. So yeah, without further ado, let us take a look at everyone's favorite Mecha Pilot. Firefly is a 5-star destruction unit with a focus on break damage. She operates in 2 states. Her normal state and her enhanced state called Complete Combustion. As you might expect with a name like Complete Combustion, there are a few issues. The biggest one, she's constantly hurting herself. But hey, that is the price of gaining a massive damage boost, and of course the Trailblazer will always be there in order to cheer her on from the sidelines. You can enter Complete Combustion by using her ultimate, which brings a host of effects. It enhances your basic attack as well as your skill, it boosts your speed, your overall damage and your survivability. In short, she goes into overdrive. This overdrive mode or complete combustion state shows up in your action order and ends once it takes action itself. You can check all the specific numbers once the character releases, since everything I'm showing you here is still subject to change and I don't want to mislead you with details that might shift in the future. Now let's move on to her skill and her normal attack. As mentioned, these change depending on her mode. Outside of complete combustion, her basic attack, order, flare, propulsion, deals single target damage. When she's in her enhanced state, her basic attack becomes Firefly Type 4 Pyrogenic Decimation. It still targets only a single enemy, but it deals more damage and heals you for 20% of your max HP. This is very good on its own, but it becomes even better when taking her skill into consideration. Outside of her ultimate state, her skill is called Order Aerial Bombardment. It consumes 40% of your max HP but restores 60% of your max energy. It also deals a decent amount of damage and advances your action by 25%. This skill is key for getting back into your complete combustion state, and as such, if possible, you should use it every single turn. The enhanced version of your skill is going to restore your HP, apply fire weakness to your opponents, and deal significant damage to your main target as well as your adjacent targets. The damage calculation is based on your break effect. For the main target, it's 0.2 times your break effect times your skill modifier. For your adjacent target, it is 0.10 times your break effect times your modifier. Note that the break effect cap will be 360%, so there's no reason to go beyond that number. So once again, this entire skill basically scales off your break effect. As simple as that. Her talent is fairly straightforward as it reduces your damage taken based on her own HP. The lower your HP goes, the greater the reduction will be. In her enhanced state, she also gains effect resistance and starts each battle at 50% energy. And that is a core gameplay loop when it comes to Firefly. Use your ultimate, deal tons of break damage, recharge with your skill and repeat. As simple as that. And also, I'll be honest, after playing her for a few hours, a lot of fun to play. Of course, we still have her technique as well as some passive traces to talk about. Her technique is awesome. She enters Sam, flies around and crashes down on your opponents, applying fire weakness to them and dealing a moderate amount of damage. On top of that, you can even use it in order to simply skip opponents by flying over them. Her passive trace enhances your gameplay loop. Core Overload boosts your break effect based on your attack. Auto-reactive armor enables super break damage to weakened opponents if your break effect reaches certain thresholds, and her final passive trace allows you to do break effect damage to opponents without fire weakness, albeit at a reduced rate. Before diving into relics, light cones and team composition, let us hit on a crucial point for any break effect centered team. Break effect isn't influenced by crit rate or crit damage. So forget about those stats for Firefly, they are as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Instead, you want to focus on break effect, attack and speed. Now speed is especially important If you can hit 210 speed while in her ultimate state, Firefly will get an additional turn before your ultimate state ends. This is a game changer and totally achievable with all of the speed boosts in her kit. So, if you can, try to prioritize that speed. Alright, now let us move on to everyone's favorite section, what relics and light cones can I use on Firefly. First, let us talk about stats. Try to aim for 210 speed if you can. 200 or 360% break effect and as much attack as possible. Remember, whenever you enter your complete combustion mode, so basically her ultimate, you get 60 speed for free. So we are looking at attack on your chest, speed on your boots, attack on your rear because more attack means more break effect due to her passive trace, and break effect on your link rope. The same goes for your substats, speed, attack and break effect. Easy peasy. Now what relic set can we use on her? Our little Mecha Pilot has her own set called Iron Cavalry against Scourge. This set is definitely her best in slot option. It boosts your break effect and further increases your break effect damage based on your overall break effect. Definitely invest your Trailblaze power into the set once it releases if you want to have it. Besides that, you can go for different 2-piece combinations that will give you either break effect or attack. If you need the messenger set in order to hit a certain speed threshold, go for it. But overall, if you can, try to aim for a solid Iron Cavalry set or different 2-piece combinations. For your ornaments you can use our good old Trusted Talia set, or if you want to farm it, the new Forge set coming in the next patch. Both are fairly close to each other when it comes to performance, so pick whatever you prefer. When it comes to light cones, Firefly isn't too reliant on her signature light cone. While it is technically her best in slot option because it gives you break effect as well as a debuff which will increase your break effect damage, she can still perform well on other light cones. On the Fall of Aeons, which is a light cone you can get from the simulated universe, is excellent for Firefly. It will give you a huge attack boost, which basically translates into more break effect, and if you don't have it yet, you can still grab it from the simulated universe. It's completely free to play, all you need is some currency you can get in there. For our Forcer options, Indelible Promise gives you break effect, but only shines at high superimposition levels, making it less accessible to most players. Flames of Far might look very tempting as it has Sam on it, but it is more of a trap than a good light cone since it doesn't give you any attack or break effect. Alright, that's it for light cones, enough yip-yapping. Let us now move on to our actual teams and showcase Firefly in action. When it comes to teams, you have a variety of characters to choose from. Our Harmony Trailblazer is literally her best in slot option. I mean, come on, right? Break effect buffer plus break effect character, it's like peanut butter and jelly, it simply works. Ruin Mei is another character designed for Firefly. Her break efficiency helps when it comes to breaking your opponents, and it also directly increases your break effect damage. So once again, 1 + 1 = 2. Silverwolf and Peeler are also good options if you don't have Ruin Mei, because Defense Shred also increases break effect damage. So if you don't have Ruin Mei, simply use one of those two. If you're missing Silverwolf, Peeler or Ruin Mei, you can also opt for Asta because she will give you a huge attack boost, Anya because she's quite skill point friendly, and Gui Kneifen because she will also increase your break effect damage. All of those characters work. However, I wouldn't pair Firefly up with Bronya, Sparkle, Yukong and Tingyun. Their kits focus on buffing crit damage, which isn't simply useful for Firefly, and Tingyun's attack buff gets outscaled by Asta, thus her energy regeneration isn't really needed on Firefly. When it comes to our sustainer, Gallagher is simply perfect for Firefly, especially at Eidolon 1, because then he becomes a true monstrosity. He is quite skill point friendly, he has action advancement on his ultimate, and he also increases your break damage. So once again, 1 + 1 = 2. If you don't want to use Gallagher, or if you don't have him, you can also go for Aventurin or most of the 4-star characters. Aventurin is a great shielder and very skill point friendly, and the same goes for most of our 4-star healers in the game, like Natasha and Lynx and so on. Sustainers you don't really need in combination with Firefly are Höchre and Fischwang. Höchre might give you a very strong cleansing mechanic, and if you want to use her for that, then go ahead, but overall the attack boost isn't really that needed because other characters do the same, right? And her energy regeneration doesn't really help you a whole lot. Besides, Firefly's attack boost isn't active for long enough in order to really give you a big benefit on Firefly. And when it comes to Fish Fang, she might have some insane survivability, and in some of the endgame options, having Fish Fang is really helpful, but she doesn't give you anything else, right? Crit rate, crit damage, all of that stuff doesn't work on Firefly. And because of that, Fish Fang is not really that recommended unless you do some giga hyper endgame content. And yeah, that's about it for team composition. The most effective and somewhat free-to-play friendly team consists of Firefly, the Trailblazer, Ruin Mei and Gallagher. Now let us take all of this into action and see how an Eidolon Zero Firefly performs in some of our endgame content. And while we do so, I will try to rapid fire answer some of your questions you might have. Alright, first question, what stats increase my break effect damage? Super simple, break effect itself, defense reduction, resistance penetration and damage taken increases. All of them work. What traces should I level first? Her ultimate should be your top priority. Get it to level 10 as soon as you can because it will be responsible for 90% of your damage. Her talent will give you some survivability, but it is not crucial to max it out. Because in the end that is all it does, survivability. Just add a few levels to it and you're good to go. The skill and basic attack can be leveled at the same time. They are not your main sources when it comes to damage, but if you want to min-max her, which I'm going to do, you can level all of it all the way to level 10. At least if you have pre-farmed some of the materials. What should I pull? Firefly Eidolons, Signature Light Cone, Ruin Mei, or maybe Ruin Mei's Eidolons? What should I pull? Very easy answer, Ruin Mei Eidolon 1 is simply put insane. If you don't have it, and if you have some Stellar Jades left after pulling for Firefly, try to get it. After that, aim for Eidolon 2 on Firefly. Her Signature Light Cone isn't essential because of the existence of Aeons, but you will need to get Eidolon 1 first, which can be risky. If you don't want to gamble, go for her Light Cone and Ruin Mei's Light Cone instead. So yeah, that's everything when it comes to Firefly aka Sam. Personally, I really like Firefly, and not just when it comes to her gameplay loop, but also as a character in the game. I feel like she is a really well-written character. Not to mention that we now finally have a proper break effect center team, and we were kinda missing that up until now because we were missing units like Firefly and the Harmony Trailblazer. And let's be honest here, break effect and break efficiency has been a part of the game since the very beginning. We have always been using it, but we were never able to build a team centered around just that. And in my opinion, it is really healthy for the game. I will definitely pull for her on the live server, and I hope that this guide helped you when it comes to deciding if you want to pull her as well. If you found the guide helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button or leave a comment. It really helps out. Because, let's be honest here, creating all of this, it did take some time. So yeah, a like or a comment, whatever, would be greatly appreciated. Other than that, thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day or night wherever you live, and I will see you in the next one. Bakosi signing out, bye bye.